Most organizations have a specific hiring and termination set of procedures for users. And in this video, we'll take a look at user onboarding and offboarding. With user onboarding, there's often an employment agreement and acceptable use policies that the user must sign off on prior to starting employment. These documents often include company rules and restrictions, and will include various security policies and acceptable use policies, for example, email and VPN acceptable use. It will certainly include a job description of what is expected of the user, and any violation consequences that might be taken into consideration when any rules are broken. Of course, the employment agreement will also detail whether it's a term or a permanent position or detail things like the length of employment. In some cases, a non-disclosure agreement or NDA must be signed by the new employee to protect confidential information such as trade secrets, proprietary company information, or if the user is dealing with legal contracts, they'll often have to sign an NDA related to that. So essentially, an NDA or non-disclosure agreement is an agreement to not disclose sensitive information. Violations could result in strict penalties, including being terminated. User onboarding often includes the creation of a new user account and group membership to give access to specific resources. It might also include the issuance of various access cards to access a parkade or a building or even a certain floor in a building. User training is often conducted so that users are aware of how procedures are run within the organization and also should include security training. With user offboarding, often many companies will conduct an exit interview to determine what the user thought of their experience and what might need to be improved. User offboarding also means environment security, which includes things about physical aspects of what the user was doing in the company, such as their workspace and any equipment that they physically had access to. User offboarding must also stipulate what would be done with disgruntled employees that need to be removed from the premises. Often, this means they need to be escorted by security personnel. Employee temperament also plays a part in user offboarding, where some disgruntled employees might become belligerent or violent. So terminations then need to be planned ahead of time within the organization. There should be a specific defined procedure that is known by HR and other related individuals. This could also be something that's done in a private environment, such as within a single organization or even within a department within the organization. So documents need to be prepared to document how termination should occur. And the idea is to reduce any negative incidents, including data leakage, when users are offboarded. Employee equipment includes things like mobile devices such as smartphones and tablets, laptops, vehicles, and so on. So it's important that this equipment be returned and properly sanitized if needed. There's also the computer account of a user, any email or VPN accounts that they were given access to that would either have to be suspended or disabled or removed according to company policy. HR, of course, must take into account the final paycheck that is owed to the employee. Security must be notified in terms of IT security and also physical security personnel that a user is leaving the company. Often, a witness is required when a user is being terminated. That could be a manager or a security official within the organization. It's also important to obtain any ID or badges or keys that were issued to the employee upon hiring. Once terminated, the user might be escorted off premises and told that they're not allowed to return. In this video, we discussed user onboarding and offboarding.